And this one is also our Discord pick of the week. And I'm not surprised because this is coming from the same team that brought you the game Flamecraft that got a lot of positivity in the community. And this one does share a similar theme, but it does play quite a bit differently. Because in this game, players are going to be managing their kitchen and preparing food for the various days of a festival. We're going to be trying to complete different objectives in order to try and score the most victory points. But on the final day of the festival, you're also going to have a special guest. This is going to be a food critic that's going to want to weigh in their opinion on your food. There's a bunch of different critics offered in the game, but you're only going to be using one, but they all play a little bit differently, creating some different opportunities for you to score victory points. But each player's kitchen is going to consist of a mouse, a lizard, and a boar, and you're going to be using those workers to go out and gather the ingredients that you need to try and fulfill your various objectives. The mouse is the fastest but can only carry one item, whereas the boar is the slowest but can carry up to 3 items. The lizard is in the middle, not the slowest, not the fastest, but also can only carry 2 items. The main board is going to have a whole bunch of different locations that the player's workers can visit, with each of those locations offering 3 different ingredients. Players are going to also have a hand of cards that will feature each of these locations, and each round players are going to be simultaneously assigning those cards face down to one of their workers on their player board. Players are going to simultaneously reveal, and then you're going to be putting those meeples out on the board according to which ones are the fastest. So the mice are going to be going out first, taking up the first slot of whichever location each player associated with their mouse, followed by the lizard, and then of course followed by the boar. This means that if a player's mouse and another player's boar got sent to the same location, the mouse is going to get first choice of one of those ingredients because that's all it can carry, but then the boar is going to be able to take the remaining 2. It could carry 3, but since the mouse took one of them, it's only going to be able to take the remaining 2. In case of a tie, there is a tiebreaker check that will be changing throughout the game, and there are some other locations that offer you other opportunities and ways to gather ingredients that work a little bit different than the traditional location. This is a game that plays over several days, with each day revealing different objective cards for players to complete as part of the overall festival. Players will be gaining points for the ingredients that they contribute towards those objectives, and this is going to be repeating over those few days until you get to that final day. This is where players will be able to gain victory points by impressing that final critic, and the way that you do that is that the critic will accept one ingredient of each type from any of the ingredients that you have at this point in the game, and then you're going to be earning the victory points associated with that ingredient. There is a few things to consider though, because each ingredient is going to have a shelf life, and if you hang on to it too long, you're not going to be able to use it to fulfill any of these objectives. And there is also the fact that each of these critics is going to have secret tastes and preferences that can earn you additional victory points, and these are going to be hidden on face down cards that are next to that critic. And if you are able to fulfill any of those, you'll get bonus victory points at the end of the game, and there are ways to peek at those before the end of the game because some of the tokens out on the board aren't ingredient tokens but instead are rumor tokens. And if you send out your cooks and bring back one of those rumor tokens, then you'll be able to spend it to look at one of those cards, which of course is going to put you in a much better situation to prepare for them and a much better situation to earn those bonus victory points. That's pretty much how the game plays, with players collecting those ingredients to try and fulfill the various objectives that the festival has to offer from day to day, while saving their most valuable ones for that final critic to try and maximize their victory points. If this one sounds interesting to you, I will have it linked in the description below, and you can click to get notified.